Okay, so this is the Lefty. We're looking at a third video on the cabinet here, and just some info in general. So if you notice, this is the PlayStation store loading up. What I've done, I mentioned it in my last video that we were going to try to do some console action on it too. And I know it's a jumble of wires here, but if you look, I have a shelf installed here so you can actually put your consoles on there. And what this will do, and I'm going to flip it around here. What this will do is give me access to my console games with wireless internet right into the back of the monitor. Yeah, obviously I'm not going to be able to use my JAMA controls here on the control panel for it as of yet. I'm not aware of any way of doing a JAMA to USB conversion. You might be able to, but you can basically play your console games on your arcade. So, I'm just looking for updates and seeing if there's any new games that I need on the PlayStation Plus this month. But yeah, so it's kind of cool. I'm gonna do this here for a second, and I'm gonna also talk about just some things I've added to the game, to the machine itself. One thing we did, and I talked about it in my last video, but we have cup holders. So these are marine cup holders. They basically mount on the side of the cabinet and with screws, and they're really sturdy, and all they do is they lock out and they flip up, and they can hold up to a 64-ounce mug from 7-Eleven. So they hold a pretty big bucket of juice there, and that way you don't have to worry about people having coasters on the cabinet and stuff. And it's set up here on both sides. Pretty awesome. We also have, in the last video we didn't have it all installed, but I've got the full control panel. We got some masking tape on there still, but we got the full control panel set up. We also have the coin and start button for each side, red and blue, which is pretty awesome. I know the lighting kind of sucks in here, but it is what it is. And then on this side we're doing red. I have two yellows here because I'm waiting for the red ones to come in. But it's going to be red and blue. And then I did decide on a paint scheme, which is going to be awesome. It's going to be digital camo using the Space Invaders theme. So it's going to be the old Space Invader decals all along the sides and front and back of the cabinet. But it's going to be gray, black, white, and then a few red ones. So it's going to look like a digital urban camo, but it's going to be overlaid with a bunch of Space Invaders. So it's going to be really sick. Got the amplifier mounted, got everything mounted. I'm also got a little pet project I had since Kuwait. I was working on a long case, and a long case is basically a joystick, but it's laid out to be like 1.5 size, as opposed to one of my original sticks that I built. This is one of the original Technology Lefty sticks. It's hard to see, but it actually says Lefty across it, which is pretty cool. It's set up for Tekken Tag. It actually can do 8 inputs here and then start and select on the top here. This originally was like a WWE WrestleMania brawl stick, which was really crappy, but I tore it apart and put all new parts into it and rewired it, and it's pretty sick. It's like a stainless steel, or not stainless but steel, but a steel panel, so just from the wear it's rusted naturally, which is really cool. And I put the decal on there from base, and it just looks sick. Plugs into USB and works really well. Here's some of the new buttons we got for the cabinet. So we got some color buttons for blue, but I got some black ones too. So it's gonna be nice. But over here, the blue buttons are gonna be going in this actually. These buttons look extremely spaced out if you've ever played on an arcade joystick before. But in reality, these are only 1-inch buttons. These little holes right here, and they actually need to be quite a bit larger for the 30mm buttons. So when they're actually locked into this, there's only going to be a very, very small space of maybe 2 or 3 millimeters between each button. So it's actually going to be a pretty comfortable layout for most players. And this is a standard Vuelix layout. Vuelix was a cabinet that a lot of people still use in Japan and other countries, and it's a nice setup. It's natural, so you can play your old Street Fighter in a square pattern, or you can do the diagonal pattern. So it's awesome. And then in this is the brand new stick. This is a Korean-made crown stick. I've got it kind of locked in already, but it's low profile, and the originals were much bigger. And it uses a rubber grommet inside. It's hard to tell there, but there's a rubber grommet inside there that touches all the leaf switches on these micro switches on the bottom. So it's actually no springs, and it's nice because it lasts quite a bit longer, in my opinion. And it's smoother. It's a very, very smooth open gate stick. There's no up, down, left, right. There's no four-way gate. It's actually a circular gate. So a lot of people that play 8-way fighters like Street Fighter and stuff will feel right at home with it, and it's really good for Tekken. Just a really good stick for Tekken. One last thing too, I was gonna show you if anyone's interested in art. A lot of people like to do these sticks and they like to do panel art and stuff. I have quite a few layers and programs saved on my machine that anyone's welcome to email me or message me about. This is an example of one that I did. This right here is a Tekken 6 layout. So this is for a Real Arcade Pro stick. It's a H-Wrap. It's an old Hori stick, and it was for Xbox. But what I did is I made an overlay for it, and it's actually, I believe the original pattern for Double Jin on there was from the Tekken Zaibatsu or Namco website. But then I modified the colors and I added the actual HD Tekken 6 logo off the cabinet itself, and changed some colors and stuff, and it turned out really nice. And it's really cool, and this is an example of some of the things you can do with Photoshop if you know how to work layers and do different things. But that was my original art on that stick when Tekken 6 came out to consoles, and I've used it for a long, long time. But it was time to get it off there and work on something different. So I'm going to do this here, and this long case is red mahogany, so it's going to be really, really nice, good quality when it's done. And if you notice here, there's an angle here on the side. This angle is going to actually go all the way around the stick, and actually very similar to a Mad Cat stick, which you see for, you know, that angle there. It's going to be a different color and stuff. It's going to be nice. I'm not sure if I'm going to stain it or not, but that's that. That's my little blurb on that. So going back to the machine, you know, it works. It functions really well. I was still having problems with the start and select buttons on it. But otherwise, or not, I'm sorry, start and coin. But I think what I did is I just had too many wires plugged in. So I unplugged a couple. I think there's a coin all switch that I had plugged in for player 1. So whenever I hit it, it gave coins to everybody forever. And it made a lot of noise. So I'm pretty sure I fixed that. And now we can enjoy some Tekken Online on my arcade cabinet, which looks really great. And I'm going to have some fun. So thanks for watching, and tune in, and I'll try to keep up more information on games and information regarding the cabinet. So just shoot me messages if you have any questions. Thanks.